Hi, my name is Phil. I like talking about politics, and in this video I'm going to be discussing the process for the Labour leadership election contest, which is hotting up round about nowish. And this, of course, if you are a Labour supporter, will be of particular interest. But even if you're not, but you are very much against what Boris Johnson is doing and is going to do, then this should also be of interest as well, because being realistic, the only opposition that can form against Boris Johnson can come from the Labour Party. That is it. And so really, this should be of interest to everyone. But first, if you want to be notified of daily news and political commentary, then please subscribe to the channel and click the bell notification icon. So, the way this is going to work now is MPs who wish to stand for the leadership, and several candidates have already emerged. It's not a simple case of just tossing their hat into the ring, so to speak. They need to meet certain hurdles. They have to meet two. First of all, they have to get the support of 10% of all Labour MPs and MEPs. We still have a few for this month. So that means they need the support of 22. So they need to get 22 people to support them. Actually, I guess that means 21 people, because I assume they support themselves. Plus, they need either the support of what is the equivalent of 5% of constituency Labour Party CLPs, which is 33, the support of 33 individual CLPs, and or 3 affiliated unions. And that's it. That's what you need. So that limits the field a little bit. We'll have to see, and we won't find out just yet who will actually get to go onto the ballot for voting. We can be fairly sure Sir Keir Starmer will get enough support. We will know that Rebecca Long-Bailey will get enough support. Beyond that, really, we don't know yet. Now, the other thing is, if you're not a member of the Labour Party right now, but you would like to vote in this election, remember, this is the election, not just for the Labour leader, but for the only person who can replace Boris Johnson, the only person who can form an opposition to Boris Johnson. So it matters for everyone. Joining the Labour Party costs, it's like £4 something a month. Not shilling for them, honestly, but it's that little. If you join by January the 20th, you will be allowed to vote. If you join after that, you won't. If you don't wish to or cannot join the party for whatever other reason, you are allowed to pay a one-off £25 fee. This is not that unusual. It's been done before. It's done in the Conservative Party. You get to pay £25 just to vote for this one thing. It's the same fee as last time. Some people were noting, oh, it's the same as the Conservatives. It was actually, they did this last time. And actually, compared to the time before when it was cheaper, more people voted last time. More people paid this fee, is what I mean, to vote last time in the second Corbyn leadership election. So that's the scenario in terms of how they vote and how it goes on. Now, just in terms of a few general things, it'll go through various stages. As and when key stages come, of course, I'll be reporting on that and the key runners and riders when we really know who they are. Again, it's irrelevant who announces that they're wanting to stand for this leadership election. What matters is who can get the necessary support. The support needed is more onerous in the Labour Party than it is in the Conservative Party, where it is entirely about getting support of MPs until the very final ballot. That is not the case in the Labour Party. And it is a little bit odd because the results are going to be announced on the first Saturday in April, quite early on in April. So it's not a quick process, this. It's not going to be a very quick process. And it defies all logic, really, as to why they'd be stringing it out, given that it's not the same process. You know, with the Conservative Party leadership, you had a number of candidates. They had to get a certain amount of support. I think it was 5% of MPs or something. It wasn't that many. And then you had various rounds of voting. After each round of voting, one person was eliminated. Then you had a few days and they all made their pitches again, and then another round and so on. That doesn't happen here. There's one round of voting. It's a preferential voting system. So this is how it works. Once it's gone down to the final ballot, and that goes out to everyone, and we receive that as a postal ballot, you fill in the order of candidates, preferential voting system. And what happens is those votes are then counted. If no candidate gets 50% of the votes, and if there's a lot of candidates, that's probably going to be the case, then the candidate with the fewest number of votes is automatically eliminated. And all of the ballots that were supporting them as their first choice go towards those supporters' second choices. And then that whole process continues until one candidate emerges with more than 50% of the vote, which may well go down to the last two. We'll have to see. But yeah, it's, you know, for something like that could be done very quickly. The National Executive Committee met yesterday to discuss this and to decide on how they were going to do it. They've allowed an incredible amount of time for this, which doesn't necessarily make a huge amount of sense until you realise that they're carrying out an awful lot of work that many of the leadership candidates are alarmed at. In other words, they're trying to cause as much damage to the party as they can in case a non-Corbynite, if you'd like to call it that, leader is elected. And there is a very, very real prospect of that. I nearly said risk. It's risk from one person's point of view, not another's. Because what's important to note is if you look at the polls at the moment, Sir Keir Starmer is actually leading the way. Now, I'd have preferred, I've said this before, I'd have preferred a candidate that was not too close to Corbyn because of the association there. But Sir Keir Starmer should be a pretty good choice. He's very definitely on the left, he's got the best socialist credentials of any of them at all. And I cannot work out why he's not Momentum's pick. If they really want the Labour policies that, I'm not going to say Corbyn's policies, because there weren't Corbyn's policies, it's not true to say that, and also we don't want to attach his name to them anyway. Socialist policies, he would absolutely champion them. So the only thing I can think of is Momentum don't just want to champion policies, that they want power of their own, control of the Labour Party. That's what this is all about, it's power. They don't really care. Well, I'm not saying they don't. They would like to see these policies in government, I've no doubt, but it's not their priority. That is the problem with them. Because he would be the perfect candidate for them, because he's going to support those policies and he's also credible. He will come up with a manifesto that is credible, not jamming too much into it in a way that gets people to think, well, you can't deliver all that. He comes across well, he's intelligent, he'll form an effective opposition. Absolute madness. But there you go. But there is real hope here, and that is why I would urge as many people as possible, ideally to join the Labour Party. Not just pay the one-off fee, to actually join, because it's going to be important, because whoever is elected a leader, there's going to be, well, if someone sensible is elected leader, otherwise we're buggered, there's going to still be a process. It's not a case of the leader we can breathe a sigh of relief, oh, thankfully we'll get an opposition. They've got work to do in the Labour Party as well as opposing the Conservative Party. So Keir Starmer is currently, even amongst Labour members, according to polls, leading the way there. That doesn't take into account union votes and affiliated member votes either, so not quite sure there. But another interesting thing from the polls is Rebecca Long-Bailey, who is Momentum's pick as the Corbyn continuity candidate, in other words, the one guaranteed to see Conservative government for the next 10 or more years, is going to get an awful lot of support. But although she's quite a lot of people's first choice, she is very few people's second choice. Whereas Sir Keir Starmer is an awful lot of people's first choice and also quite a few people's second choice. In other words, there are other candidates who are preferred over Starmer by some people, but they'll go for Starmer as a compromise candidate, as I would. If I look at the list of candidates emerging at the moment, he would be my preferred candidate anyway. Not necessarily if I could pick all MPs. So that's how the system's going to work. As I say, I would urge people to not only join the Labour Party and take part in this election, as, you know, think of it, if you must, as electing the leader that's going to oppose Boris Johnson, and also to encourage others to do the same. And that's how the process is going to work. And as I say, I'll keep people up to date as and when anything major happens in the contest. I'm not going to ram the channel with a lot of it, but when key things happen, I will of course be feeding back. So I hope you found the video interesting. If you did, don't forget to click the like button. And if you'd like to support the channel further, then please also click the Patreon link for details. And until next time, I'll see you later.